Yes, as unfortunately, not all series had walkovers, as we did play out our full first match, but this one does also include a couple, unfortunately, as we do see Warren winning 1-0 against Hupsaya as a walkover. Again, the 2v2 Eon, we were talking about him, we don't get to see him play. Eon and McMunro do win over Igor and Awesome Source, and Silky over Galab Arrakis.
Caleb Arrakis.
Duh.
But we do still have 2 games that do have to be determined. It is going to be a both PVZs? Question mark? Yeah, both PVZs.
Yeah.
All right, take a little bit of a break from TVPs here. And the first one we have is Jardozer versus Pili on Interloper.
Yeah, nice. And I will ask, did you update Twitch? Did you switch over on your casting tool? Nice.
Yep.
Sweet. As we do have 2 ZVPs.
Wait, I'm going to refresh the page real quick. Yep.
Nice.
So, I mean, you can kind of treat us like a best of 3. No, you can't because there are only 2s.
Yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate. The way Spicy League works is the players, they try and organize a time for them to play out their matches. They have a week to do so. If they don't, then obviously Sugar then will look into it and will determine who gets the walkover. You know, who was the person who was available, who was the person who just wasn't available to play. And that does get determined. So unfortunately, a couple of players, they couldn't find a time during the week to play out their matches, and walkovers did occur. But, you know, shout out to the players
for this game.
Yeah, shout out to Jardozer and Pili for actually playing their series.
Yeah. Called out.
I'm most upset with Silky and Caleb because I want to see more Acolyte, and they deprived us of that.
I guess, but here we have it then. Not on Acolyte, but rather on Interloper. LE, of course, standing for Lego engine. That's when you make an engine out of Legos and it actually works for a while until it overheats and it melts, which is not too pleasant. In the bottom right hand corner map, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of the map, we have a green Protoss all the way representing, playing for the team that has already won, unfortunately. ZergPatch and playing for the team that has already lost, unfortunately, playing for Los Vamos Suka. It is Pili.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Interloper LE, we have the American Zerg representing the team that has already won this best of 5, being ZergPatch and Jenasin. We have also representing Icebound Esports, it is Jardozer.
That's the name of that team. Icebound. I thought it was just Icy Far.
No, Icy Far is Pig's acronym for his video series.
Yes, but
yeah, damn it.
If Pig can have a team, Icy Far can have a team.
I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that makes much sense.
Look, if Pig can have Pig Pan and Taste of Bacon, actually they're the same thing, but
yeah.
Icy Far can have ICY.
Yep, Jardozer, he is kind of a regular player amongst in the NA scene. The same with Icebound Esports. He does regularly compete in the NA Cups as well as NA Apprentice Cups, I should say, as well as Battle of the Americas. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see him here again, facing another regular in Pili.
Indeed it is. I think we're talking about this just now, like indestructible turrets. This is definitely something that Interloper does in fact have. Mm-hmm. It's not quite as insane as not Daybreak, Defender's Rift, Defender's Landing. as it doesn't lead directly into the natural, but it's still there nonetheless. So if you just want to expand in one direction, that's an option for you to take.
Yeah, it's definitely an option to kind of close that off and to stop Hellion run-bys from coming from that direction and make it easier to expand. Not just Hellion run-bys, but also Ling run-bys as well. Like, in general, like, it allows for more defensive play and it makes it easier to get set up on 3 bases.
Indeed it does, but usually when you're looking to set up on 3 bases, you're not looking to keep the game going for too long.
Yeah, as we do have Pili Pili already going for a Stargate opener, a Twilight Council behind this, and the Oracle is already across the map. Jardozu, he has no idea that this is happening. There are no spores in position at the natural.
Only Queen, but sometimes Queens are in fact all you need. Rip Queen range though, or...
Yeah. Did lose a couple of workers and some lost mining time as well. So nicely done there by Pili Pili. Does keep the Oracle alive, but not game-ending damage by any means. So yeah. It's kind of, good for both players. Kind of okay defense, kind of okay harass.
Here comes the Tic Tacs light.
Oh
Coming
my
on
god.
to the Twilight Council. In addition to we really are in 2017 light.
Phoenix Adepts. All right. Yeah, let's do it.
May as well.
Yeah, with a little bit of 2020 thrown in there, though, as Glaive Adepts are pretty popular nowadays. Thank you, Zest, for kind of popularizing it in recent months, recent weeks even. So we'll see how it plays out in a map like this, in an older map, where it may not be as easy to traverse between the 3 bases with the shades.
It may or it may not. It's just sort of looking at the layout. It is quite a bit of a longer distance between the natural and the 3rd base. At least it is for the way that our players have expanded.
Yeah, we'll see how the defense goes, and we'll see how much damage these adepts can do, as it looks like they are trying to shade into the natural while killing a couple of queens. Do get 1. Shade does go off. And there are no roaches yet. Like, the roach warren is there, but just nothing but lings for defense.
But the lings are getting fantastic surrounds here on some of these adepts. A couple of them are already going down. Some of them do survive, but they are already in the reds. Very few pokes here will be able to take them out. And Pili Pili, he's gotten quite a number of damage done. He's shaved off the ling count and gotten 6 drones.
Oh my god,
but
yeah, the adepts are still alive. Like, still more and more damage is being done, but in the end does finally get cleaned up. But all up, pretty solid damage there by Pili Pili.
Yeah, surprisingly. All right, meanwhile, the Ling Flood is starting to come in, or counterattack, more of a counterattack than a straight up flood, I should say, as we do see a couple of banelings being made already.
Yeah, and here we already see that the rocks aren't down here for the side of Pili Pili, so the Lings do flood in to the 3rd base. Meanwhile, there are those banelings being morphed. Not quite here just yet, but it looks like maybe with the shield batteries help and the force fields.
It's not looking too good right now for our green Protoss player, I gotta tell you, like. But the force field, in addition to the Oracle, it keeps a lot of these units alive.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the end of that, Pili Pili makes it out with only a single probe killed.
Yeah, those were solid force fields, really nicely held there. He was able to hold long enough for the Oracle to come back home and snipe those banelings, so the banelings didn't really connect on much at all. Meanwhile, though, Jardozer, he hasn't given up. There are more lings on the way, banelings being morphed as well from both the north and the left-hand side. So he looks like he's gonna try and hit both sides at once.
It does seem that way, or at least try to go for a bit of flank. Pili Pili coming in with a flank of his own. There are a lot of immortals here, but what are immortals going to do against lings?
Kill him.
The answer is tank damage for the Oracle.
Yeah, nicely done. And I don't know if you noticed, but those immortals, before they came down here, they actually killed the tower and they blocked off that northern pathway, so the banelings were forced to go all the way around and they weren't able to go into the natural like he planned. So nice, solid defense here by Pili Pili.
But Jardozer, +1 already finished. Now coming in with a second assault. Does take out so many of these units. And takes out a pylon as well. So much of the infrastructure of Pili Pili just gone like that. But You have to keep in mind, that's a very, very small amount of where Pili Pili's actual production is.
Yeah, and it looks like we do have Jardoza trying to bust through those rocks to the north, but it's going to take a while, especially with just Lings. And Pili Pili should take note of it at some point. He doesn't quite have vision. No, he does. He does have vision, so he should see the rocks going down, and there we go. He may be responding. But in the end, Pili Pili, he was able to hold fairly well. He did lose like 5 workers to those banelings, but he's able to replenish. Yeah, he's still ahead.
In fact, he is. I don't think Pili Pili knows about these rocks, though. Jardoza is looking to end the game in the very, very near future, not planning ahead too much. Does get quite a couple of drones, does get another expansion, but where's he going to tech beyond this?
Yeah, I mean, he is working on his upgrades, which is nice, but as you said, like, there's no Hydroden, there's no Spire, it's just pure Ling Bane coming out from Jardoza, and he's gonna get the rocks down, and Pili Pili, he just hasn't noticed.
No, he has not. Oh, maybe it'll just warp prism. Come on, Pili!
Please,
still doesn't know.
And
the Lings are here, but a lot of Archons.
Yeah, a lot of Archons, they aren't quite
Lings
in
are here,
position.
The Lings are gone.
Yeah, can't explain that. As they do pull back, and even though they were able to open up that pathway, they weren't really able to utilize it effectively. They tried to get into the natural, but there was a wall off there with those units. Maybe if if Jardoza had a couple of banelings to bust through that unit and then just go in with his Lings, damage could have been done, but in the end, Pili Pili does hold, and Jardoza in a rough position with just nothing but Ling Bane.
Holds, and he's had enough of this. Nothing but Ling Bane, down on army supply.
Yeah.
About to be down on upgrades as Pili Pili is looking like he's going to be getting the victory here.
Yeah, we do have a couple of Roaches and Ravagers in production, but like barely any at all. What are they going to do against this army? Looks like the Lings are coming in though, and they're going to be able to get the Immortals.
Or yeah, that's a decent snipe there, but the main damage dealer here for Pili Pili really are the Archons. GG is called, and Pili Pili takes at least one game for the Los Vamos Sucas.
Yeah, Pili Pili fights back and is able to at least put 1 point on the board. Well done there by Pili Pili. Jardoza,
this will affect seeding.
It will affect seeding going into the playoffs, and Jardoza, like, I think he did play it well. Like, he had some solid defense, but again, like, his transition was very late, and I don't know, maybe something else would have worked as well, because like he was held off for so long by those rocks. It took so long for those Lings to finally bust through, and even after they did, like, he wasn't able to capitalize on it in any way.
That's basically how that entire game went down. Meanwhile, we are going to be moving on to another PvZ on a different map, and I have to tell you, Light, I think that this is going to be a very, very, very different game.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we have not the cat himself, but the cats himself. Good old Papi. It's Jenasin versus cats.
Imagine me and Micah versus cats. What would what would happen?
No, that happened. That happened in Nation Wars.
That did happen. That did happen.
Vietnam versus Peru. I think cats barely edged it out.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we have one of the cats from our scene, not the big cat from Vietnam, but El Pastor from
the older
Peru.
Cat. Not the big cat, but the old cat.
Yeah, this time using a different alias, as he did have a dog in last week in week 1.
He really wants to keep it private. But anyway, here we have it then. Spotting over here on Defender's Landing. LE, of course, standing for... Los Esciente. I'll let Light explain that. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, fighting in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. He is somebody who we might know if you watch a lot of Battle of the Americas. He is the Red Protoss, coming here representing ExxonMobil Esports. You know him as CN Inference, but he is actually Jenasin.
I think you said the seat.
What?
And I say I think you said it because your pronunciation was a little bit off, so I assume that's what it was. But in
Los asientos.
Yeah, the seats.
Oh, I had to have more of a lisp towards the end there.
In the top right-hand corner of Defenders Landing LE, we have the Peruvian, and also in the main base, the Peruvian Zerg player representing Los Vamos Suka, we have Cats.
He heard that Mio Micah not only was a cat, but was also doing this.
Okay, so I'm kind of worried. So I feel like the Protoss player needs to wall off behind this because he's gonna cancel this hatchery so Lings can flood in. Oh, never mind though.
Oh, not getting the Evo chamber behind it. Instead going for another hatchery. This is the man who inspired Mio Micah.
But because of the hatchery placement, that forced the Cybernetics core to be like in the back instead. So the ramp is wide open even if a unit comes out. Meanwhile, we do have Jenasin trying to stop this hatchery from going down, but Lings are already on the way across the map.
That indeed, they are not super amount of Lings yet, as we do see that Cats is supply blocked. And man, Light, you were talking about how we need Cats and Mio Micah to play well. I want them 2 more now.
Yeah, and such an annoying pylon block here from Jenasin as well, forcing Cats to take his natural further away from his main base. And sure, there are Lings here, and I imagine Cats, he's going to want to deny or apply pressure to the natural, but he could lose this Overlord as well if he's not too careful.
In that he will. I'm just watching this and not even trying to. I'm just trying to get my brain to process.
The reinforcing Lee's coming. Are they going to be able to save the Overlord? The Stalker is going forward, but it's a little
barely. Almost gets around it. The Stalker does, but it will be able to retreat. And the Adept here going to be chasing away anything Cats throws at him. I thought this was going to be a much shorter game. That's actually shaping up to be so far, Light.
Yeah, like finally Jenasin is able to take his natural expansion. Meanwhile, Cats did save his Overlord and has his natural expansion of his own, but he's flooding more and more Lings.
Yeah, it's so important not to get supply blocked as a Zerg player, especially when you're being this proactive. When you're playing this proactive, this Nexus might be in a bit of trouble here. There's not a lot of
he's going for the Stalker.
Units.
Oh, he gets in.
He is in fact going for the Stalker. Cats is in. Cats is in, Light. Cats is in, and I think he's gonna do it, Light.
Yeah, he's gonna depower everything here. The Adept is across the map.
The sentries, Light. Sentries were about to pop off, but then they were cancelled or something to switch to the gateway, so that did not work out well.
Oh my god!
I am in complete awe right now.
So the game isn't completely over. If Cats was link flooding behind this, it would be completely over, but he's droning up a little bit, and he's taking a third base of all things. So Jenasin in a rough position though. He's doing both. The Lings, he thinks better of it. Instead, he applies pressure at the natural. Meanwhile, Jenasin does have a lone immortal, so that he does have that going for him. He did lose 8 workers though, which he's in such a rough position. I imagine we're going to be seeing a 2-base all-in off of this, especially because Cats.
I feel like that's his only option at this point.
Yeah. You can't macro out of this. I mean, we're 5 minutes in. You know, you've got 20 workers. Cats, he's got 3 bases. He's droning up behind this. To be fair, Cats, he's taking all of his gases. Is he going Spire? He's got 5 gases.
He might blow.
I mean, Lair, it's almost done.
He may as well.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of anti-air here for Jenasin. I'm holding my breath, Light. I am absolutely holding my breath. There's a drone in position.
There it is. There it is.
Base muta.
2 base plus 1 base Mutalisk, 5 gases taken. Nice. Like this is beautiful is what this is. Cats, he's going for his Spire, his Mutalisk. Meanwhile, we do have Jenasin trying to reestablish control of his economy.
And this is actually the biggest of brains move by Cats, because if you look at Jenasin, he's reestablishing his army mostly with sentries. He wants those force fields. What are sentries gonna do versus realists?
Nothing.
Try to attack them?
Nothing.
Nerfing.
Nothing at all. Meanwhile, we do have a Stargate on the way by Jenasin. Maybe some Sixth Sense going on there. As never mind. He actually did spot the Spire in the back of Katz's main, so he does know what the transition is being. But will this be fast enough? Like, the Stargate isn't even done yet.
That's definitely the big question coming out here. Spire has almost done. There it is.
We've got drop alerts on the way as well. What is happening? What? Yeah, we've got a Baneling nest almost about to be done as well. So it looks like Katz is gonna try and drop Banelings in the main base, maybe in the main base, or maybe on top of the sentries.
As you are calling all of these one after the other.
Oh my god. So,
them Peru boys, man. Them Peru boys.
Yeah, and it's going to be so difficult as Jenasin because at the moment the anti-air just isn't there yet. Like, the drop alerts could just go right for the sentries and just land on top of them if Katz wanted to. Or of course he could just go for the mineral lines. We do have a couple of Phoenixes on the way from Jenasin, but he's not going to have anywhere near enough to handle the amount of mutalisks on the map.
No, he will not. Or at least it's definitely not looking that way. More and more units just getting rallied over into this natural base, and it's about to happen. Like, it's about to happen.
Yeah, the drop alerts.
Okay, still a ways away, but
they
it's
are
a fairly short rush, as we've established.
Yeah, and more Banelings being morphed here in the low ground. We'll see what Cass decides to do with these drop alerts and these mutalisks.
All right, and here it comes. Very good sentries, but here comes the drop alerts. The drop alerts! They be dropping, and all of the sentries are gone. Wow. That's also most of the anti-air. 3 Phoenixes are out now for Jenasin, and those should do pretty well against the mutalisks. But what are they going to do against the flood of Lings and the Banelings on the mineral line? I think this is going to wrap up very soon. Didn't expect a drop. None of us ever do. GG is called. And that is going to be our first ever non-4-1 in this for the evening. Yeah, it's such a shame. Such a shame that they ended up getting walked over, because as we saw, the games that actually played out, Oswamasuka ended up winning them.
Yeah, like, imagine how this series could have gone if those walkovers didn't happen. GG. And this is also why I love that that Caleb ended up picking Cats for this team league, because I feel like in best of ones, Cats, this is where he excels. Like, he has the biggest brain in NA.
That's how he carried Peru in Nation Wars.
yeah, like, he could just, that's kind of his thing, where he focuses on refining these builds specifically for best of ones, and he comes out with them prepared, and he knows exactly what he's going to do. He came in with a proxy hatch to start things off, which transitioned into a Ling flood, into 3 base, 5 gas spire, into Baneling drops, like, all calculated.
All deeply calculated. This is why we need him and Mio Micah to farm an Archon. With True.
With True. Oh my god.
I'm still in a bit of awe, standing here. Like, we are about to go into our final series of the evening, but as it is going to be a full series coming out for you, I do believe we're going to go into a quick little break here, so I can get some water.
Yes, we are. So, stay tuned, as we will be going on a 5-minute break. When we come back, we will have Tier 3 Goats versus Team Better Than Jared.
Hashtag do not go anywhere.